Looks like we're all set up now. Hey, how you doing? My name is Avon, or Nails That Glow, and you are listening to Abstractions That Glow. This is a show where I get to talk about pretty much anything that I want. I just wanted to do a primarily audio podcast where, I just kind of talk at you. And, you know, I've been doing this other show, First Drafts That Glow. It's just a writing project that I've been doing, and I think that's the first thing I'm going to talk about because that's like the first thing that I thought about. It's almost 13 weeks ago I started that, and I wanted to do something. I came up with the idea like a while ago. After the pandemic started and the lockdown started happening, everybody was doing something on YouTube or the Clock or the whatever Facebook owned properties that I just refuse to use. And I wanted to do something. I mean, I even recorded myself reading The Raven, I think, and posted it online just to be like, this is something, sure, why not? But it wasn't until it looked like the pandemic was going to continue much longer that I was like, maybe I should do more. Maybe I should be the writer that I used to be and start doing more creative things, putting myself out there more. Because, you see, when I lived in Florida, I did a radio show, I did a stage show, I had puppets. I was doing a lot of stuff, and like I would, DJing even, and not huge or anything like that, but like I did my thing. I did it the way I wanted to, and there was no compromise there. And there were a lot of people who were very insistent that I like do it differently. And I got bullied a lot, let's just say. But also, I was dealing with some like other issues. But anyways, I'm getting derailed here. I want to stay a little focused. The writing project, First Drafts That Glow, I came up with the idea because I used the handle Nails That Glow. And, excuse me, I've been doing a lot of ideas that play around with the that glows concept. I already have ideas, in other ways. That's, where Abstractions That Glow comes from, because they're my thoughts and they glow, because things that glow are pretty fucking amazing. I don't care who you are, I don't care how old you are, but things that glow are always amazing. When I was a kid, there were these stupid toys that, glowed and you could make things out of them. They were like my favorite things. But so the idea for this writing project was to write a short story. And, excuse me, goodness, I'm not exactly sure what most people would agree on for a short story. But a short story can be anywhere between 3,000 to 12,000 words. It all depends on who you're talking to, really. I personally feel, between 5,000 and 7,000 is a good amount, because that's about what you can read in about like 40 minutes hour, if you're not speed reading, if you're like taking time to like absorb everything. Yeah, and when I read most of them, I'm reading them in about 40 minutes. Um, and I try to keep the show right around the hour mark. And I do keep them at this first draft level. And I do that for a number of reasons. The primary reason is, I don't, if you're a writer or if you know people who are writers, writers will write a dozen stories and then tell you about one of them. And writers do that because it's hard for a writer to love everything that they write, because what if another writer reads it, or somebody reads it and it's somebody that they trust or value, and they're like, dude, that's absolutely not your best work, or damn, that's bad. Nobody wants to hear that. It's the same with artists. I don't know if I'd call myself like an artist in the same way that, say, like Jim Lee or Picasso or, you know, like even fucking Jim Carrey like does paintings. Like those are artists, right? I'm an artist in the way that, I write, I will get up on stage, I'll sing some funky stuff, I make like I make pretty obnoxious beats, and I DJ. I'm an artist in that way, and I guess you would call me a performance artist. Why not? That makes sense, doesn't it? Performance artist. Ooh, yeah. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I keep it at the first draft level, which means generally in one setting, anywhere between 4 and 6 hours, I'll write about 5,000 words, give or take 1,000 or 2,000 more. And I'll go through it once, just to make sure that I keep the character name consistent, because I think my second story or third story or something, I got the character name wrong. I don't fucking know how that happened. Something in my head just wasn't tracking. Fixing glaring spelling errors that the document editor that I'm using is like, we don't know what you're trying to spell here. And it doesn't catch everything, because sometimes you'll be saying from and you accidentally spell form because your fingers are moving faster than your brain is processing what you're actually writing. It's a whole thing. Anyways, does anybody else experience that? I know I experience that. Sometimes I don't even look at the screen. I'm just like thinking while I'm typing, and then I look down and I'm like, wow, my fingers were in the wrong place. I just wrote a line of gibberish. Awesome. Yeah, and after I do that, like I don't read it. I just know that something came out of me, and that's generally referred to as free writing or stream of consciousness. I know a lot of, quote, end quote, writing workshops kind of function on the kind of practice habits of like free writing from a prompt or something. And I kind of do that. Well, not kind of, I actually do that with each of these stories. I'll get 5 or 6 random words. Sometimes I'll just look around, or I'll go to a random word generator online or something, and just collect some words that seem appealing, and then I'll stare at them for a while, and I'll choose a title from that. And from that title, I kind of already know what the story's going to be like. Like, I know the past few stories I've been writing, I wanted to be horror. So, I chose words like fog and um, uh, I can't even remember now. I'm totally blanking on the names of my stories, but um, just darker themes. Formal Smoke was one of them. Diffuse Fate was another one. Um, you know, uh, what was it? Extort the Fog or something was another, like, very grim sounding, horror sounding things. And then I build from that and I write the story. And I don't always know where it's going to go when I start. And there have been a few stories that suffered greatly from this, uh, you know, no plan kind of format. A really good example was one of my stories where it started out with this one character who was doing this thing, and then I took a nap because, naps. Naps are amazing. And when I woke up, I had a different idea, but I still wanted to use what I had already written. So I just started writing about another character, and then those two characters met up towards the end. It was a train wreck. It was an absolute mess. But I still read it, and I still put that online because if I fussed over each of these stories, I wouldn't be putting out one a week. And it is specifically designed as a show to be, these kinds of first draft, first pass, off the top of my head, free writing, to, kind of flex my muscles and be like, I'm creatively strong like bull or something. I don't know. I don't want to be strong like a bull. I want to be strong like Sinestro or strong like Galactus or not a Minotaur. That's a bull. I don't want to be Man-Bat either. I mean, I guess I could be Batman, because if you can be anything, be Batman, but maybe the Vigilante from the Peacemaker TV show. He was pretty funny. But no, Spectre. I'd be strong like Spectre. Or Dr. Fate. I'm just going all over the place here. Anyways. So yeah. I'm just hoping that, people who listen to the stories, understand the thing that I'm doing there. And, I've been trying to go back and expand the first story that I did, which I called The Last Vampire. But I just haven't found the time for it yet. And that's why I don't fuck with the other stories like that, because I just want to get the stories out there. If I was getting paid to, polish up a story, yeah, of course I would spend time doing it. But, like, I'm doing it for a YouTube channel that I can't monetize yet. I guess when I can monetize it, I'll step up my game for sure. But yeah, all right, we're gonna stop talking about writing. Let's see. I know I did a list. Hold on. Oh, there it is. I got a post-it note over here. The new Superman films, and we're getting Cavill back, and I'm excited for that because he did look the part. He very much looked the part. However, I do want to say that Zack Snyder should not be allowed near superhero movies ever again. I don't know who thought he was a good idea as far as like these movies go. But oh my god, it's like Goyer fucking with the Blade movies. Like, keep that man away from shit. But to be fair, he was involved with Sandman and the new Hellraiser, Goyer, and not shitty. Either he is relegated to a position where he's just pushing numbers and, you know, sticking his dick in occasionally just to show that, he's there. But he's obviously not making the key decisions anymore. Like he has just fucked up so much stuff. Um anyways, this is about Zack Snyder, not Goyer, but fuck you, Goyer. You wanna talk to me about this? Let's talk. But anyways, yeah, Zack Snyder, when I watched the Watchmen movie, now Alan Moore, anytime you interpret his stuff, it's going to be like interpreting Stephen King stuff. It's just not written in a way that you can adapt it in the traditional sense of how adaptations work. Like, it's why it has to be like heavily worked on and rewritten anytime it's being adapted. It's why The Stand can't just be like it is in the book, like even Cujo Carey and the others, like there's so many like inconsistencies between the two, the book and the movie. But that doesn't stop people from adapting King's work, and it's the same with Philip K. Dick's work. Like Minority Report, come on. Do androids dream of electric sheep? Do you know what that was? Blade Runner. You read that book, that movie and that book have nothing in common. The it blows my mind that that's even part, like they kept, based on the Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. Like, come on, guys. You just put that on there to bait people, because that movie has nothing to do with what he wrote in that book. Like, I would totally expect somebody to make a Ubik and have it be about, make it about a reality show where people are fucking each other instead of. Anyways, I'm derailing myself here because that's what I do best, especially when I don't have a script. But yeah, so I was watching the Watchmen movie, and I even watched the unlimited version or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. And it's still bad. Like, it's still bad. Like, the parts that it gets good are good. Like, I won't lie. Like, Rorschach getting blowed up, perfect. The awkwardness of the sex scene between Al and Spectre, awkward. Obviously very much in the vein of the, like, juvenile, like, power fantasy that Alan Moore was expressing with that book. Like, he's like, these are stunted, individuals that are, they're fascists. Like, they just evolved into this kind of fascist kind of way of being, and they just want to maintain, through this kind of violence and everything. But anyways, I'm derailing. The thing that pissed me off the most about Zack Snyder's adaptation of Watchmen is there is no giant squid. And the whole idea of making the pirate thing, an animated feature that was off to the side originally. That just didn't make sense. Not including, a lot of the background stuff that was just kind of necessary as you're reading the story for it to make sense. Like, it should never have been a movie. It needed to have been a high production value, movie series, like 3, maybe even 4 movies. Like, it would have been great, had they just been like, we're gonna do some like 4-movie franchise thing, because it's fucking Alan Moore's Watchmen, and we want to show the fans how much we actually love Alan Moore, even though he is going to disavow himself of this film. Because, like, did you ever see From Hell? That has absolutely nothing to do with the graphic novel Alan Moore wrote. But, oh my God. No wonder his name isn't. Oh, it's just. Okay. Alan Moore, sir. You crazy old magician, you. You are fucking amazing. And I am so thrilled you're still writing, even if it's not comic books. But fuck Zack Snyder, okay? Watchmen relied on the squid. It needed the squid. It absolutely needed the squid. And for him to take away the squid, take away the whole point of why Ozzy was pulling people to that island in secret to develop the monster and killing them off, and why the comedian went to Moloch's place and just like crying like a bitch, like all of that was removed. Because if you're not hiding that, what the fuck are you doing? You're just building a generator. Like, he didn't need all those people if he was just going to build a nuke that had Manhattan signature. Like, you don't need an island of people to do that. You just need a lab of people, and then the comedian, like, the story falls apart at that point. And then all of the like hyper fascist aspects of Rorschach and the just kind of depravity of the world that they were in, like the whole thing about the electric cars, like, where was that? Like, Manhattan saying that, America's in the position it's in because I'm producing the lithium, kind of thing. Like, anyways. And then fucking Silk Spectre, the first Silk Spectre, in the graphic novel, I thought it was very important to show that she turned, like, as she aged, she went completely downhill. And that's why she was so thrilled when she saw the kind of risque cartoon thing that Dan had with him, because she's like, oh yeah, I remember being pretty. In the movie, she was still fucking pretty. She just looked a little leathery, like she spent some time in Florida. She didn't look haggard. Like, was that a decision of the actress? Like, was that in her contract? You can't make me look like an old hag, even though that's precisely what the story calls for. I don't fucking know. Okay. Anyways, and then I hate Zack Snyder. I'm sure he's likely to be a wonderful guy, but he's terrible with comic book movies, because his take, and I'm gonna put heavy quotations on that, like, I have absolutely no fucking idea how he tried to rewrite history and say he was trying to do injustice when all people were waiting for was just a Justice League. And the Warner Brothers thing being like, yeah, we just need a hit to Justice League. We don't want to do the slow burn to build up the way Marvel did, even though that worked perfectly. we're just going to sidestep that entirely. And we're going to have a super depressed Superman who's an idiot. Because in Man of Steel, not only does he not have access to the Phantom generator, he doesn't have the Phantom Zone generator, he doesn't have his Fortress of Solitude. He just doesn't have any of that because reasons, I don't know. But Lois Lane, okay, just sure, she's a brilliant journalist and everything, but Clark Kent did not cover his tracks at all. And one of the givens about Superman that a lot of people don't really get unless they read the comics is Superman is as smart as Batman and Mr. Terrific. He is. It's just Mr. Terrific is he thinks multi-dimensionally or something like that. Like, that dude is just nutty. Like, the way he thinks. You'd have to read the comics to get details on him. I could talk about him forever. And then Batman, his paranoia and his planning, in the fact that he has the best poker face out of the entire DC universe, with maybe the exception of Sinestro. That's mainly what makes them different. But he is not a fucking moron, and there is absolutely no way comic book Superman would have been that easy to suss out in the way that the film Superman was. Lois just knew who he was out of the box. And also, why would you kill Jimmy Olsen? And then why would you turn Batman into a sad emo bitch? I don't need my Batman to be, super edgy. The Matt Reeves Batman. Yeah, he's a moody little punk, but he's only been Batman for a few years. But we meet a Batman in Zack Snyder's universe who sees Superman, and instead of saying, maybe I should reach out to him and be like, yo, what's up, brother? I saw you destroying the city over here, but you're obviously stupid powerful, so let's talk, and if we can't, I'm finna kill you. I don't know. I just... The Justice League cartoons did that so much better, just entirely. Ben Affleck was just the wrong idea for Batman. And what was up with the Bizarro Doomsday? Oh my God. And from what I understand, what's his nuts that played Lex Luthor thought he was playing the Riddler, so that's why we get a Lex Luthor that acts like a fucking coked out Elon, being like, oh, you two know each other. Oh my God, dude. I hate Zack Snyder. All right, let's move on. Because I am so happy James Gunn is in charge of the DC films now. Oh my God, somebody who finally likes comic books. Okay, moving on. Being trans. I want to talk about this a little bit because this is, the first opportunity that I have to just talk about this for a minute. And I am keeping a track of the time. We're pushing 30 minutes. I'm going to try to make this, clock in under an hour. I know you don't have all fucking day to listen to some space cat just gibber on about things that they want to talk about. But, future episodes, I hope I can have people to talk to. I'll take suggestions from listeners. Just tell me what you like, I'm going to do this weekly anyways, even if I don't get listeners. But anyways, being trans, I am a trans feminine non-binary. My pronouns are they, she. I have been on hormone replacement therapy since November of last year. This is, October 26th that I'm recording, 2020. So yeah, I started towards the end of November 2021. It's almost a year that I've been on hormones. You know, my way of thinking is different. My body's changing. I gained a lot of weight, which I need to start regulating, but there are other reasons for that, which I'll talk about in a future episode, so tune in for that. And, my voice being what it is, I smoked cigarettes for years. So, eventually I will be changing that. So this is also like a nice little record of my growth into the feminine tilted creature that I'll ultimately become. My voice will be different. I might even have different interests. I'll effectively still be the same person. I feel so much happier in general, but I have been following a lot of trans people on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Nails That Glow. Also, nailsthatglow.com. See a pattern here? I am totally branded with Nails That Glow. So, if you've been trying to get that, that's me, bitch. What? Yeah, I'm a little older. We're not going to talk about how old I am. I will say that, Diogenes and I had some really interesting arguments, but, Descartes, he was a dick. I kind of liked hanging out with Voltaire, but, Beethoven made great fart jokes. Anyways. I started transitioning pretty late. I came from a very conservative and racist and very transphobic, homophobic environment and family. And it took me a while to climb out of that. So there's a lot of things that I'm still learning about myself and a lot of things that I'm still getting used to because, it's only been almost a year. I'm getting a procedure done on my throat coming up soon. And hopefully I'll be able to start getting hair removal because I've always hated face hair because face hair just sucks. And I don't know if I'm going to go any further than that because, between cost and age and just other things, I don't want to get chest implants because you have to replace those every so often. And, other surgeries just seem a little terrifying to me. I can't see that happening. But this is part of what being trans is. It's an experience, and it's unique to every single trans person. And invalidating trans people in any way is just not okay. Every trans person is valid. People who are taking hormones, people who are not taking hormones, people who are having surgery, people who are not having surgery. If somebody just tells you that they're trans, you just go with it. If they tell you some neopronouns, Faye or Zer or any of the others, you go with it. Do not question them. Do not make fun of them. And don't do that to me because you're not going to win. You're not. And I might change my pronouns, because neopronouns being what they are, that they're evolving. I may identify with one or two of them better than they, she. But that's where I'm at now. I wanted to share that with you. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and put some comments in. Um, I think YouTube gave me a handle for this show. It's Abstractions that Glow. I think I'm just gonna. Should I make a Twitter for this? I don't know. I don't think I should. It depends on stuff, but you can also, if you're listening and you don't want to go to Twitter or YouTube, and let's say you're listening on another platform, you can email me first drafts. Crap, I don't even know what that email is. Let me pull that up while I'm talking. It's firstdraftsthatglow@gmail. Let's see. I probably should put this mouse in a different location. Yeah. It's firstdraftsthatglow@gmail.com. That's where you can reach me. And if you want to find me on Twitter, it's firstdraftsglow, or nails that glow. But yeah, so I'm trans. And, if my voice gets higher pitched and over some time, it's still me. I'm just working on myself. I am a building in renovation. I am a space cat that is getting new parts installed. Now I have 2 more things to talk about, I think. Yes. Happy Halloween. It's coming up. It's going to be in a few days from my perspective here. I'm going to try to get this episode out before Halloween for sure. My First Drafts That Glow show uploads every Sunday at 11 a.m. I'm thinking I'm going to have this show up on Saturday, since there won't be as involved a production path for this show. I mean, there may be in the future, but I'm going to try to keep this show as close to record date and release as possible. I'm only doing it now because it is going to be a busy weekend for me, so there's that. Halloween is the only holiday out of the year that I care about. I don't give a fuck about Thanksgiving. I don't give a fuck about Christmas. Valentine's Day is a bit of a joke. Zombie Jesus Day is just hilarious to me. Like, it's supposed to be a Christian holiday, but it uses fertility symbols and feeds them to kids. Yeah, that seems like a logical thing to do. There's nothing weird about that. And then, like, national holidays, like, I'm vegan, so like 4th of July stuff for me traditionally was really just gross because everybody's cooking pig and cow, and I'm just like, ew. And not only that, I hate the sun. I absolutely hate the sun. I carry an umbrella with me all the time. Somebody's like, well, it's a parasol if you're using it for the sun. No, it's a parasol if it's made out of fucking lace. I carry golf umbrellas around, and I shield myself from the sun. Also, sunscreen and I don't get along. I don't want to break out, so yeah, parasols, umbrellas. I like it when it's cold. Then I can put on a hoodie and cover myself completely. Oh my god, I even still wear masks, like to cover my nose and mouth when I'm out in public because people be nasty and anti-vaxxers can suck on balls. Literally. If you're an anti-vaxxer, just fucking get the vaccine, get your kids vaccinated, stop your whiny bullshit. Like, oh my god, don't don't stop being a fucking idiot. All right. I don't want to get too derailed. I'm pushing the time that I said I was going to do. I put at the end random facts that I think about. I think I'm going to keep this, since this is Thoughts That Glow, Abstractions That Glow. I'm trying not to contain it too much with, too much, this is what I'm going to say kind of thing. You like that? You like I can make noise like... Yeah, that's my voice. Anyways. random facts that I think about. Let's see. Asphalt, 100% recyclable. How fucking random can you be? Let's see. Honestly, Marvel movies are not destroying cinema. I think superhero movies have been made for so long, people are just pissed that the artistry involved with modern films are beyond their understanding. Because we've been making superhero movies for fucking ever. Ever since their movies could be made. Flash Gordon, Batman, Superman, fucking James Bond, like John Wayne doing the batshit crazy things he was doing in a completely white West where like all the white men were noble and pure and, like the best shots ever. I mean, even the Lone Ranger was white and that was based on a black man. Like, come on. Yeah, like even fucking pirate movies, like the Sinbad movies. Who's seen the old Sinbad movies? The one that had Tom Baker in it, who was a Doctor Who. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look that shit up. It will blow your mind. The original Clash of the Titans, superhero movies. We've been making this shit forever. Just because we're making them based on comic books now, and we were making them based on mythology and super spy novels and idealistic versions of the Wild West. I mean, even Dirty Harry is a superhero movie. Like it's a racist superhero movie because he just runs around and is like, "You're fucking not white. I'm gonna kill ya." And he gets away with it. Like, okay. It's the weirdest fucking movie series. Like I tried watching that as a kid and I could not. I absolutely could not. And then like slasher films, like the B horror sci-fi films, like all of those superhero films. It's just evolved. We chose the stories of the youth of the creators, and the creators who are making movies now were raised by these fucking comic books, by these cartoons that we're making movies of. Like even the new Turtle movies, as as much of a hot mess as they were, they were still pure in the sense that they were just trying to be batshit over the top crazy. Except for the Transformers movies, those made no sense. I loved the Transformers as a kid. Those movies just don't make sense. They don't. I can't. And even the first Turtles movie, modern Turtles movie, like a white guy was going to be Shredder. And then people are like, maybe we should change that. Like, oh my God, only white filmmakers would be like, oh, well, that's a Japanese villain. Let's make him white. Anyways, I might even talk about Avatar in a future episode because Yeah, I liked Fern Gully. Why did it have to be remade into Avatar? It just makes no sense. Blue cat people? Low-hanging fruit, buddy. Low-hanging fruit, and you couldn't even do that right. Couldn't even get it right. Just couldn't. All right. Anyways. I probably shouldn't have clapped my hands like that. I'm going to be sure to deaden that in post. I want to thank you so much for coming to listen to little old me. I hope I've at least distracted you, been mildly entertaining. If you want to know more about me, I keep a nightly blog, nailsthatglow.com. It's stream of consciousness. I talk about my transition, my world experience, my memories. Some nights it's very low energy. Other nights I'm writing like close to 1,000 words. And I take a picture every night. And that's mainly so I can see myself as I evolve. And I used to hide a lot. So, having daily selfies since the first day of hormones to present, I'm going to keep that up for as long as I can. You can also visit me at ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com/nailsthatglow. You can buy me a cup of coffee there. Just also check out First Drafts That Glow. There will be links in the description and everything. Thanks again so much for joining me. Join me next week for another episode of Abstractions That Glow. I'm going to try very hard to have a guest. I don't know if I'm gonna make it because they're just weird. But maybe I get 1 or 2 shows out there and somebody will be like, "Hey, you're doing a weird podcast where you just randomly talk about stuff." Yeah. You just want to hear me talk because I'm cute. And I'm also just really entertaining. Like, I can talk about literally anything. Yeah. I know. I'm gonna say next week I'm going to talk about at least character voices. Here, let me type that in. Character voices, episode 2. I'm also going to put the boom arm on a different surface than where I'm having the keyboard and mouse. Because character voices, they can be sexy. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing there either. Yeah. Alright. I've been Avon, or Nails That Glow, depending on how you know me. Thank you so much for joining me, and I love you. Abstractions That Glow. Produced, recorded, and starring Avon. For more information, please contact us at firstdraftsthatglow@gmail.com. Also visit our website at nailsthatglow.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.